giant squid, a creature that feels as if it emerged straight from ancient legends. Beings with strange, otherworldly appearances, as though they belong to an entirely different planet. Creatures of breathtaking beauty, glowing with mesmerizing light, colors, and ethereal movements. These creatures were all recorded in the deep-sea regions near the Mariana Trench, a place where humans have explored less than 0.1% of its total area. At those depths, sunlight cannot reach. Temperatures stay around 34 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, and the pressure exceeds sea level by more than 1,000 times. These life forms have evolved in ways that science has never documented in any other environment on Earth. These observations show that the deep ocean is not an empty void, but a complete ecosystem operating under biological rules we still do not fully understand. In that absolute darkness, life not only survives, it adapts in ways that go far beyond early scientific expectations. It remains a world where every new observation raises more questions than answers. So what exactly is happening in the deepest place on the planet? And how can life survive where survival seems impossible? To understand the mysteries that occur in this abyss, we must first comprehend its sheer size. It's easy to imagine the trench as just a deep pit filled with water home to a few terrifying, bioluminescent creatures. In reality, the Mariana Trench is vast beyond comprehension. Located in the western Pacific Ocean, between the Philippines and Guam, it stretches more than 150 miles long and plunges nearly 36,000 tower deep. To put that into perspective, if you were to drop Mount Everest into the trench, the tallest mountain on Earth would still be submerged by more than 6,500 feet of water. Many call it the Earth's fracture, and they're not wrong. The Mariana Trench was formed tens of millions of years ago when two massive tectonic plates collided beneath the Pacific. One plate was forced downward beneath the other, creating a colossal depression, a wound in the planet's crust that has deepened over time. Imagine placing two sheets of paper on top of each other and pressing down hard. The lower sheet bends and folds beneath the other. That fold is what the Mariana Trench represents beneath the ocean floor. At its bottom, there is no light, no oxygen, and the temperature hovers between 32 degrees and 39 degrees, cold enough to paralyze the human nervous system within minutes. The deeper you go, the faster light fades until absolute darkness consumes everything. Many scientists describe the Mariana Trench as a second planet beneath our feet, a world apart, where life does not follow the rules known to humankind. The trench hides countless mysteries. One of the most astonishing is that it swallows an enormous volume of seawater, about 3 billion tons every year. Even more disturbing are the so-called hell chimneys, hydrothermal vents erupting from beneath the seabed, spewing sulfur, methane, and heavy metals. These vents can reach temperatures of over 750 degrees, hot enough to melt metal, yet they exist right beside waters that are nearly frozen. At a depth of 36,000 ft, about 11,000 meters, the pressure is beyond measurement. It's not expressed in units, it's measured in destruction. If a person were to descend that far, every square inch of their body would endure more than 15,000 lbs of force, the equivalent of a 10-ton truck pressing down from all directions at once. Drop a simple rubber ball into that depth, and it would be crushed flat, reduced to the size of a pebble. A regular submarine sent there would be obliterated within seconds, crushed by pressures more than 1,000 times greater than those at sea level. Even the most advanced submersibles on Earth, built from titanium and ultra-hardened steel, can withstand only so much. A single flaw, a crack thinner than a human hair, could cause the entire vessel to implode like an aluminum can in less than a millisecond. But what makes the Mariana Trench truly terrifying isn't just its depth, it's what still lies unseen below. To this day, humanity has explored only a few thousandths of this vast region. The rest, thousands of square miles hidden beneath layers of black water, remains a blank space on the human map. If the Amazon rainforest is the uncharted frontier of the surface world, then the Mariana Trench is the sacred forbidden ground of the ocean. But how was the deepest place on Earth discovered? The story begins more than a century ago, when humankind knew almost nothing about the ocean's depths. In 1875, during an expedition by the British Royal Navy, the vessel HMS Challenger set sail with one mission to chart the floor of the Pacific Ocean. What they didn't know was that this very journey would forever change humanity's understanding of the ocean. Instead of the advanced technology we have today, the crew of the Challenger only had a long steel cable stretching for miles with a heavy lead weight tied to its end. They lowered the line by hand, point by point, recording each depth. But as the ship passed near the Mariana Islands, something extraordinary happened. The line was almost entirely released, yet it still hadn't touched the bottom. The crew held their breath, watching the gauge fall lower and lower, until it stopped at 26,270 ft, 8,184 meters, deeper than anything ever measured on Earth at the time. The discovery stunned the scientific world. A massive fracture in the heart of the Pacific Ocean. They named it the Mariana Trench after the nearby island chain. From that moment, it became a symbol of Earth's final frontier, a place forever untouched by sunlight. Yet even after more than a century, the trench's true depth remains uncertain. Every expedition has produced a different figure. To this day, no one can say for sure how deep it really goes, perhaps 35,900 ft, or maybe even deeper. That uncertainty alone has made the Mariana Trench the most mysterious place on the planet. For decades, humankind was haunted by a single question: what lies at the deepest point on Earth? But it wasn't until 1960 that someone finally dared to seek the answer. On January 23, 1960, explorers Jacques Picard and Don Walsh descended into the abyss aboard the Trieste, a steel sphere weighing tens of tons, designed to withstand unimaginable pressure. Few believed they would survive. At depths beyond 35,700 ft, the crushing force could obliterate any metal known to man. Yet Trieste made history. The descent took nearly 5 hours, and they stayed on the seafloor only a few minutes, but that moment changed everything. As they reached the bottom, the two men reported seeing a faint cloud of white sediment and something moving slowly through the black mud. A creature, roughly 10.5 tons, eyeless, soft-bodied, and glowing faintly in the dark. No photograph was taken, but those few words of description were enough to send shockwaves through the scientific community. No one knows what they saw. No images, No samples, only their account, and a mystery that has lingered for more than half a century. After that, the Mariana Trench fell silent for over 50 years. No one dared to return. Technology simply wasn't advanced enough to protect humans from the crushing forces of the deep. Not until 2012, when legendary filmmaker James Cameron, creator of Titanic and Avatar, decided to make the first solo descent into the trench. One man, one vessel, and an 11-kilometer, 36,000 amperes, plunge into darkness. Cameron reached the bottom in 2 hours and 36 minutes, setting a new world record. He described it as another world, a silent, lightless realm, where translucent creatures drifted in the black water, glowing softly as if born from another planet. Then, in 2019, explorer and entrepreneur Victor Vescovo piloted the submersible DSV limiting factor to a record-breaking depth of 35,053 FT, deeper than any expedition before him. Since then, a series of robotic missions equipped with high-intensity cameras have ventured down, and what humanity discovered wasn't just life, but life that defied biology itself. Some creatures appeared to be relics from prehistory. Others seemed to break every evolutionary rule we thought we understood. At depths beyond 36,000 FT, where temperatures hover between 34 degrees and 39 degrees and pressure exceeds 100 times that at sea level, scientists uncovered an ecosystem so alien that evolution itself seemed rewritten. The first creature ever captured on camera was the snailfish, filmed at a depth of 26,800 isoleft, the deepest living fish ever recorded. Despite the crushing pressure and freezing cold, the snailfish isn't armored or muscular. Its eyes are milky white, lacking pupils, and its body is soft and gelatinous, built to endure over 16,000 psi of pressure, roughly the same as having an elephant standing on your thumbnail. Its entire body is so translucent that you can see its organs pulsing inside. You can literally see its brain through its skull. These creatures have evolved to survive, where no life should adapting to pressure and cold that would destroy anything else. In fact, snailfish have few muscles and no thick bones, allowing them to float easily while conserving energy. They also lack swim bladders, the gas-filled sacs that help most fish stay buoyant, because those would collapse instantly under such immense pressure. Instead, their bodies are filled with layers of watery gel and mucus, which help them stay buoyant and resist compression, while also making their movement through water more efficient. Without scales, they don't swim quickly. They drift like ghosts, waiting for scraps of food to fall from hundreds of miles above. Biologists describe them as creatures born to live in hell, where every feature of their anatomy contradicts the logic of life on Earth. If you've ever seen alien movies filled with bold, sharp-toothed, grotesque beings, now imagine a shark with that very face gliding silently through the darkest waters on the planet. That is the goblin shark, a monster aptly named after the nightmares it inspires. If the ocean has a true monster, this is it, a living fossil from the prehistoric world. The goblin shark appeared over 125 million years ago, predating even the dinosaurs, and to this day, it still lurks in the shadows of the Mariana Trench. With its elongated blade-like snout and jaws that can shoot forward nearly 4 inches to seize prey in an instant, it is nature's own deep-sea horror. Its entire snout is covered in microscopic sensory pores, capable of detecting the faint electrical signals produced by the heartbeat and muscles of nearby creatures. When triggered, its jaws spring outward in a lightning-fast strike, devouring anything within range. Filmmakers have described the scene as a spring-loaded trap from hell. Even more unsettling, goblin sharks aren't gray like most of their kind. Their skin shimmers with a sickly pink hue, giving them an eerie, almost human-like pallor. A typical goblin shark measures around 10 to 13 ft in length, but reports exist of specimens exceeding 20 ft, nearly the size of a great white. Fortunately, encounters with these monsters are virtually impossible. They inhabit depths of over 3,000 ft, and the older they grow, the deeper they descend. Like many creatures of the Mariana Trench, science knows very little about the goblin shark. How they reproduce, how they hunt, how they live, all remain mysteries. Some marine biologists believe these giants are the last surviving descendants of the Cretaceous period, living fossils that have endured for tens of millions of years. But over 300 ft at 1,000 meters beneath the surface, another creature lurks, one that chills even the most seasoned divers to the bone. It's called the frilled shark, though it looks nothing like any shark we know. This species has existed for over 80 million years, making it one of the oldest living relics of the ancient ocean. It once swam alongside dinosaurs and quietly survived every cataclysm, every ice age, and every extinction since. Most scientists consider it the missing link between prehistoric sharks and their modern descendants. When it was first discovered near the Mariana Trench, observers thought it was a massive sea serpent. Its name comes from the 6 frilled gill slits that ripple along its body, stretching up to 6 foot in length. Many believe these frills are part of a unique muscle structure that helps the shark endure the crushing pressure of the deep. Its body is long and slender like a snake, moving with the sinuous grace of a python. Its skin is rough, grayish-brown and wrinkled like the hide of a dragon. Its mouth opens wide, revealing over 300 backward curving teeth arranged in 25 rows, each one small, needle-sharp, and perfectly designed to trap prey. Once bitten, escape is impossible. Every movement only drives the teeth deeper. Another terrifying trait: the frilled shark's jaws can expand outward, allowing it to swallow prey half its own size in a single gulp. It doesn't tear its prey apart, it swallows it whole, sliding it down its throat like a serpent devouring its catch. Rare footage shows it curling its body into an S shape before lunging forward like a spear, striking with lightning speed, rivaling even the great white shark in shallow waters. On the rare occasions when one is caught and brought to the surface, it almost always dies instantly, making it nearly impossible for scientists to study its behavior or life cycle. For years, researchers believed the frilled shark swam and hunted like an eel. Others argued that its awkward internal anatomy would make such movement impossible, a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Among the many strange beings of the deep, few are as astonishing as the telescope octopus. Unlike its rough-skinned, color-shifting relatives near the surface, this octopus is almost completely transparent. Its body looks like it's made of liquid glass, soft, ghostly, shimmering like smoke underwater. These creatures drift and dangle gracefully through the deepest currents of the ocean. It's called the telescope octopus because of its enormous spherical eyes that can rotate independently, granting it a 360-degree field of vision. This panoramic view allows it to spot both predators and prey in the eternal darkness. In a world where everything is pitch black, those eyes can detect the faintest glow from bioluminescent life hundreds of feet away. When a camera light shines upon it, the octopus's eyes reflect a ghostly silver-blue gleam, like twin crystals glowing in the night. Unlike most octopuses, it doesn't crawl or hover near the seabed. Instead, It floats vertically through the water column, often over 6,500 2,000 meters, deep perhaps, to make its body less visible to predators above or below. The telescope octopus doesn't hunt aggressively. It drifts, suspended in the current, extending delicate, thread-like arms to snatch tiny creatures that drift by. But among all the bizarre life forms of the trench, few rival the barrel-eye fish, also known as the spook fish, a creature with a head that's completely transparent. At first glance, it looks like something straight out of science fiction. Its head is as clear as glass, revealing two glowing tubular green eyes, pointed upward, staring through its translucent skull to track prey above. For this reason, it's often called the fish that sees through its head. Unlike any other species, its eyes can pivot inside the glass dome. When preparing to strike, it rotates its eyes forward, locking its target before shooting upward like a missile through the darkness. Its slender, metallic silver body measures about 6 in 15 centimeters and glimmers as it reflects the glow of nearby bioluminescent life. But its strangest feature is the transparent helmet covering its head, a natural shield protecting its eyes from the stinging tentacles and venom of jellyfish. Living in a world almost devoid of oxygen, the barrel-eye moves with extreme slowness, conserving every ounce of energy in the eternal night of the deep. Each movement of the barrel-eye is like a silent glide, no ripples, no sound, utterly noiseless. Some researchers call it the watching ghost because it seems to observe everything, yet rarely attacks. Descend deeper still to where the water hovers just above freezing, and there exists a creature that can create its own light, the dragonfish. It wouldn't win any beauty contests, but this eel-like deep-sea predator possesses a mesmerizing, bioluminescent glow. With grotesque features and oversized fangs, the dragonfish is the assassin of the abyss. Despite being a fish, it has no scales, only slick, mucus-covered skin, much like an eel's. Measuring about 16 centimeters long, the dragonfish prefers depths between 700 and 6,000 ADFT, where the water is pitch black and icy cold. Its body is slender, coal black, and absorbs nearly all light. When illuminated by an expedition camera, the dragonfish seems to vanish into the darkness. But its most haunting feature is the tiny lamp hanging beneath its chin, a luminous lure designed to attract unsuspecting prey. It can use this light to communicate with others of its kind or to disguise itself. A glowing filament, like a whisker beneath its jaw, sways hypnotically in the current. Smaller fish mistake the glow for an easy meal. But in an instant, the hunter becomes the hunted, and the dragonfish enjoys a feast of its own. Unlike most deep-sea creatures, its light isn't blue or white, it's a deep red, a color invisible to nearly all other fish in the abyss. That's why it can illuminate its prey without ever being seen. It waits motionless for hours, then lunges forward, its fangs 3 times longer than its jaw to snatch its victim whole. Those teeth, thin and transparent like glass needles, can pierce the thick skin of anything foolish enough to swim near. Even more chilling, its bioluminescence isn't only for hunting, it's also a language of light. Every flicker is a signal warning, hunting or mating. Some scientists believe the dragonfish can control light beyond the visible spectrum, communicating in what they call ghost light, wavelengths no human camera can capture. Still, many scientists believe the Mariana Trench could harbor the oldest forms of life on Earth, organisms that have existed since the planet's very birth. These are the living fossils, creatures untouched by time, offering clues to how life began under such extreme conditions. Some biologists even suggest that if life can survive here in total darkness, near freezing temperatures and crushing pressure, then life beyond Earth is not only possible, it's probable. So what do you think? Could the ancient monster, the Megalodon, still be lurking somewhere beneath the Mariana Trench? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to know what you believe. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from the hidden corners of our planet. Until next time, farewell and dive deep.